Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. This is Champagne and Commentary today. It's a little different. It's not a Reddit story. Someone actually messaged me. By the way, I feel so bad. So bad. This individual, they sent it to me February 24th at 5:38 in the morning. So baby, you know they were going through the gigs. You know they were going through the gigs. And I'm just now seeing it. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm just giving you your own platform. I'm not gonna do anything else but discuss this story because you deserve it. Okay, babe? Okay. How I dated a man that was married, claimed he was getting a divorce, and had a girlfriend, and then dated me. I'm in the military. When I was deployed was when I met him. We worked together. It was supposed to be a temporary fling. He wasn't the typical guys I dated, so I was instantly attracted to him. I noticed he was interested instantly, but I ignored it and tried to know him better, only to have him tell me of all his commitment. So I made a mental note to keep away, but he didn't keep away. He texted every day. He'd call, asked if I wanted to hang with the guys. I'd say no most often than not, but then it gave in because I worked with them. And I would rather go out with familiar faces in a different country. He slowly isolated me from the group. I didn't see it as an issue because I assumed he was all flirt and I overestimated my abilities to ward him off. At work, he showed up everywhere I was, offering to help at the slightest chance. Taking me places, he even told his girlfriend once he was coming to get me to take me somewhere, and she warned him to stay away from me. And he told me these things, and I let my guard down thinking, oh, he seems like a good person and couldn't possibly cheat, and I was no side piece either. I was in my late 20s, but very naive because all I did was go to work and school. I didn't even realize I was being groomed to be exactly what he wanted me to be. He was also very present, which is something I never had in a relationship. Before I knew it, my heart started skipping a beat when I saw him. That should have been my warning. I even tried to sneak into work so I didn't get to see or interact with him, but he made it a point to seek me out, drawing me deeper into this ugly web. I couldn't help but be attracted to him. All my walls totally crumbled. I had knew this was a bad idea, but I thought I could be like the guys, both married and single. They were all cheating. I thought I could YOLO because I was single too, experience new things, make mistakes, but this turned out to be my biggest mistake yet. Once he sensed my walls crumbled, he started with tiny touches here and there. Before not long, we're making out. He studied my interests, knew what I liked, and literally changed into that person. We didn't have a sexual relationship till 2 weeks after we started making out, and it was the most painful experience I had ever had, both physically and emotionally. Emotionally because his girlfriend got drunk and tried calling him several times while we were being intimate, and he'd leave to talk to her. My heart broke that night for her, for me. I cried all night thinking about the woman I just betrayed who doesn't know, but I felt her intuition was going off that night. She even said her sister said he'd cheat and he proceeded to lie that he wouldn't. I was a total mess the next day, crying for a woman I didn't know that trusts him to keep her heart. I heard her voice over the phone and it tore me. That was the last day he spoke to her in front of me. I hurt physically during intercourse because we didn't have enough foreplay to get me ready as he was rushing to make his nightly appointment with his girlfriend. Why did I put up with a situation like this? I never know. I didn't think I'd be in this predicament, but here we are. After that horrendous night in which we also refused to wear condoms, which took me by surprise and made me so anxious I couldn't sleep that night. I had to get up early to get a plan B in a foreign country. I had to answer the weirdest questions. It was a truly embarrassing moment for me. After all of this, I was sure I was done with the situationship, but I listened to the lies saying he was so confused, but he liked me and wanted to spend time with me. And we don't have to be sexual if we didn't want to. Oh, I bought this hook, line, and sinker. He played me so well, I'm not going to lie about that. And even when I knew he's playing me, I still went down the rabbit hole. He never really cared for me so well, I'm not going to lie about that. And even when I knew he's playing me, I still went down the rabbit hole. I put myself and my body through trauma, taking birth control pills that made me sick to my stomach, catering to someone that doesn't care if I got pregnant, and made jokes about me being a single parent. He even paid for his girlfriend to visit, ignored me the whole time she was there, and surely I thought this time I was done, but she was still on her return flight home to the house he bought for himself, that she split the bills with him, also cooks and cleans for him. By the time he was back in my bed, she wanted a baby by him, while he already abandoned his son by his wife and wouldn't bring him home. So his mom doesn't know where he lives. He called her all kinds of crazy and wished her dead. I honestly think his girlfriend was groomed just like I was because they work in the same office as well. I don't think he has any game if he had to impress a girl on the fly. He had to slowly chip away at her resolve in close proximity and morph into the person you like. By loving and being super controlling. Someone said he was a lazy man, which is true. He never truly put in any real effort except manipulation and lying. He controlled the narrative from what he told the boys at work and what he told me they discussed about me, which was just as derogatory as the few I actually did hear from him. He changed the words so I believed his if I heard the actual truth. But he stayed exposing what the other guys were doing, thinking he's better than them, but he's the worst of them all, in my opinion. I low-key think he also had another affair with a guy while he was away from me for a month during our deployment. But needless to say, my value was in fact hell. He told me these things, and once I was out of the very much blinded love, I saw it all, and it made sense. How it all came to a halt was when his deployment was over a month before mine. He left, and while he was flying all his trips, I texted him a farewell because I promised myself I'd leave him once he got back to his girlfriend, and I didn't want to ruin that relationship. So once he was home, our conversation stopped abruptly. He never checked on me again. Even after the pandemic forced us to leave, I'm pretty sure he knew because he had friends there still. That revealed to me all his motives after he left. I was confused as to why he said he loved me if he didn't. They said he didn't, and it was the biggest game ever played. The boys will forever have the boys back, even when one of the guys I considered my friend saw me struggling, depressed with the decision I had made, having a relationship with him. Their advice for me at the time was to have fun, which I clearly was not. I did reach out to him one last time during the pandemic and riots because he's a cop. I checked up on him to make sure he was safe, even when he never thought of me or my safety during the pandemic. Even after that, he ghosted me, and I hope the ghost remain forever die. Looking back at the situationship, I gave too much than I got. In fact, I got absolutely nothing from this. Even a stranger that had a crush on me bought a box of chocolate, more than he ever did, and he also ate that chocolate. I was always the one fixing issues between us for fear of awkwardness in the workplace because literally everybody knew of the affair in the workplace, and all the boys protected him while his girlfriend was visiting like they always did for each other and their cheating selves. Even made sure our paths never crossed. I disliked the uncomfortability at my home or place of work, so I always strived to keep the peace at my own expense, well, at that time. I guess that gave him some superior complex because he admitted doing this many times before while he was away on our previous deployment. Even having an affair with a married woman, and they always run after him afterwards and wanted to be with him. He was so sure I was about to be that kind of girl, even when I told him I won't be bothering him once he's gone. Even after I texted him when he's gone to check up on him, he said I could text any time I wanted. Yeah, no. So when he tells the story, I'd be the chaser. I kept catering to someone that didn't deserve it. I learned a lot from this experience. I was played like guitar strings, so I picked up a book and learned more about men. That's been both my biggest regrets and lessons. I grieved every day I was with him for the woman whose only crimes was loving. Even during the entire ordeal, I knew instantly this wasn't the kind of relationship to be with. Yet I wasted time choosing the wrong person in a place where there was a lot better choices, and being with him ruined even the slightest chance I've had because everybody knew. Which was what he intended, but that never really stopped me. I have to tell my story. Maybe this is how I finally forgive myself, but it's forever etched in my memory. He was a twin flame, a karmic from hell, and that is putting it mildly. I really felt this story, number one, because I've been in this situation where I have dated the married man, but legally separated under the pretenses that he was going to get a divorce. I don't know if that makes you feel better, but this is just how I relate to people by showing hey, you're not alone. So hopefully you don't feel like I'm trying to overstep your situation, but this is just how I try to relate to people, because I don't want you to feel like you're being judged. But again, you're right. I feel like the individuals, and I'm not going to say this is for everyone because I know there's people out there that are married and they really are going through the process of getting a divorce, and maybe it's just taking a little bit longer due to kids or whatever, but they do have the intentions of getting a divorce, right? So I don't think anyone steps in saying, hey, yeah, like I'm gonna date this person, even though he's married, because I know I didn't have that ordeal. Like the moment that he told me he was married, I was like, all right. I had immediately crossed that off in my mind, and I said, well, you work on that, but we can be friends. And that's solely how that person started to maneuver their way in my life. Just like in your situation, you said they kind of tripped at your resolve, because people are like that. You give them an inch and they take a mile. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of certain people. It's like people seek out good-hearted people and they mess with them because they know that they're going to take their bullshit. That's the easiest way I can say it. And that person solely came into my life and I gave them a chance because, oh, I thought he was different. Oh, he understood me. Oh, I saw him as my friend. And what do people say? Oh, you should date your friend. You should date your friend. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can date this person. And while they're working on their divorce, maybe we can really build on top of that. And it was hell. It was definitely hell. It was so much bullshit that I had to fucking go through. Excuse my mouth. Woo. It was just so, it was a lot. It was a lot that I feel like a lot of people don't need to go through. And I just, and even when I decided to like break up with that individual, can you believe they were still married? Still married. Even after I had got the strength to leave, they were still married. And I feel like I had to go through that situation. I had to realize that wasn't a type of situation that I didn't ever want to be in again. I feel like you have to go through certain situations to realize what you don't want. And yeah, sometimes it definitely could have been, even though that situation happened and it definitely could have been avoided even with myself, I feel like it just needed to happen. Now you know what you want and what you don't want. Now you know what type of men that you really need in your life. You want a man that's going to show up for you, that doesn't sit up there and lie and dog a woman and, you know, misconstrue shit, and that's loyal first and foremost. And I feel like with my situation, I feel like I was lonely, and that's why I gave that person a little bit of wiggle room in my life. And they just gave chaos all through my shit, literally. And so now that I've gone out of that relationship, I'm not gonna sit up here and say like that situationship doesn't linger in my head, because it does. But I'm so thankful for that situation because it did make me who I am today. Like now I know what type of men I want. Now, in regards to my standards, in regards to red flags, I don't even stop to allow a man to make me feel uncomfortable like that ever again. If you mess up one time, it's like, all right, nope, I gotta keep on moving, because I can't have you put me in a predicament that I don't ever want to be in again. So again, love, thank you for sharing your story. And again, I'm so sorry for taking this long to post this video. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if anyone else has any stories that they want to share on my channel, DM me or email me.